5 ways to get more attendees for your event in this video coming up. What's going on, everyone? Marc Guberti for the Breakthrough Success Podcast. And when it comes to event planning, podcasting, and other things like that, this channel has you covered. So subscribe if you want more videos just like this one. Hit the bell too. But when it comes to getting people into your event, you see, this is a really big deal because you do the work to get the venue, you do negotiating, but then you don't get enough people to show up. And that's a big problem because of all the time you put in, and now it's harder for you to get the ROI that you're looking for. So that's why we're going to share 5 different ways to get attendees coming into our events. There's actually 2 parts to this. The first part is stuff you do by yourself. We'll cover that later. There's also a part of this where you get some help, which is where we're going to focus on first. So the first tip strategy for getting more attendees is to have a co-host with you. So if you and someone else work together to organize the event, it's going to be a lot easier because you can only do so much work on your own to get attendees. But if you have someone who's equally invested, or if you have 3 people who are equally invested, they're going to do more work than you could do just by yourself to get more people. So even if you have to split profits or split stage time, it is certainly worth it to have co-hosts who are just as responsible for organizing the event and getting attendees, because it's just less work on your shoulders. Strategy number 2 is to get multiple speakers for your event, because not only do you want a full house, but the speakers also want a full house for the places they're speaking at, because that means better pictures, that means more business. So if you get a bunch of awesome speakers, they're going to share the event with their audiences. So that's going to be something you're going to have to balance, how much you want to pay for speakers. Now, there are some really great speakers who they will come in for free, speak at the event, and then their reward is being able to sell at the end to attendees, or just to build up their speaker profile. Now, in some cases, if you have one of these higher scale events and you have a really targeted audience, what some event organizers do is they will charge the speaker to speak on that stage, but they do get to do an all-out sale at the end on that stage. So I've seen people pay as much as 10 grand just to get on a stage because they know they're in front of the right audience. So that's something that, like, having speakers pay you to get on your stages, that's something a little more advanced. But when it comes to filling up the venue, getting speakers who are in the area, who know people in the area and can promote your event will be really helpful for filling it up. And it really does help if you give the speakers some kind of an affiliate link they can use to promote, because then they know they're getting something at the end. They know that they're getting money for promoting your event, similar to how an event organizer makes money on each ticket sale. So if you give people an affiliate link, whether it be a commission-based or a flat fee per sale, that is something you could do. One of the networking events that I'm in, this is a networking event, not a public speaking event, but the person organizing that gave me an affiliate link where I actually got 100% of the sale. Now, we're only talking about $10 here, but to keep 100% of the sale, I mean, that's something you don't see in affiliate marketing. So there is a lot of respect to that kind of relationship. So if you don't have a high price ticket, you can do the 100% commission. Like, the affiliate keeps everything. Just to get people in there, because if you do get people in the venue and you're able to sell them because you get on the stage and people see you organizing this whole event, it's going to be worth it to get those people in there, even if you don't make any money on the ticket sale. Speaking of not making money on the ticket sale, the third tip I have for you guys is to make your events free. Now, there is some debate around this. If you make your events for free, expect less people to show up, but you'll get more people to say yes. So you could get maybe twice as many people say yes when it's free versus paid, but maybe half of them will show up, while for a paid audience, a lot more people will show up and they'll be much more willing to spend money on different things. So earlier when I did mention that, there are some events that charge speakers 10 grand just to get on their stages, that's because the people in the audience, like, they've spent like hundreds of dollars on a ticket already. So the idea of them spending like $2,000 on a training course doesn't really faze them as much as if it's a bunch of people in the audience who just got a free ticket. So while there are some differences, it can still help to do a free ticket, just get more people in and maybe more potential clients. Just know that people who pay, put some skin in the game, they're more likely to buy more things from you in the future, which could include what you sell on the stage. Tip number 4 is to go to local networking events, because people have to know about you to go to the event you're hosting. So it's one thing to be on social media, LinkedIn, get people that way, but when you meet people in the local area who they are already actively going to events, they're actively networking, that is putting you in front of a bunch of people who they get it. They have worked around their schedule before to make it work. They have gone to a bunch of different events in the past. So these are the kinds of people who, if you network and you say what you're doing and you mention I'm doing some events in the local area throughout the year, that's going to get their attention. And if you say something like, I will let you know when I'm doing a new event, would you be interested in that? So if they say yes, that's a way to get them on your email list, and then let them know about each new event that you're doing. So that way you have a bunch of people who now you may get repeat attendees who are going to come to each of your local events that you do, or if you do a big annual event, you're going to get people who come each year because you have them on your email list. So local networking events are a really great way to find that group of people who care enough to make the time in their day to go networking with other colleagues who through these relationships can help them grow. So these are going to be people who they would be very interested in coming to your event if it's a good fit. And for our final tip, we have piggybacking off of someone else's audience. So have you ever looked at an event like Podcast Movement that gets like over 2,000 attendees and you're wondering, how do they get that many attendees? Well, part of the reason something like Podcast Movement gets that many, they've got a whole ton of speakers promoting the thing. They've got a big Facebook group, big email list, all these different things. Now, for you who may not have all those different things, how do you get an event? Maybe not with 2,000 people, but maybe with 100 people, because that's still a pretty big crowd. So one of the things you could do is what I like to call piggybacking off of the other big events. So basically what you do is you find a big event in your area or just a big event you're going to, and you organize something like the day after that event or on the same day as the event, as long as there's no conflict. So if there's like something going on in the morning for the big event, but there's nothing in the evening, that's your opportunity to swoop in and offer an event. And even the day after works really well. The reason is that not everybody's going to leave the day after the event. Some people, what they're gonna wanna do is do some touring of that city or wherever they are. Some people may stay that extra day just to wind down a little bit. So some people are going to stay longer than the actual event. And for those people, you can offer your own event. You can do some negotiating with a co-working space or something like that. Earlier, I talked about a video about how you can actually get event space for free. It will be up here somewhere, hopefully, that video for anyone who is interested. But if you organize an event like that, the day after a big event, you're going to get more of those people in to the event. All you have to do is just tell people like, hey, I'm doing this event, this meetup, or whatever you want to choose it to be. And people say, oh, hey, I'm staying an extra day, something I'd be interested in. And you ask enough people, I mean, if you're talking about like an event with literally thousands of attendees and word spreads about your event, it could be something that gets dozens or even over 100 people at that venue. And depending on the size of your venue, you could definitely fill it very quickly if it is like a conference room or something like that. It just depends on how much networking you do during that event. And if you do have a bunch of co-hosts who are at this same event, you can multiply the networking effort to reach out to even more potential attendees. And finally, one last note, this one's up to you, but you may want to make this ticket free, because people who went to this big event have already paid a lot of money for travel or just for the ticket itself, which can cost a lot. So if you make it free, you're more likely to get more people who have already made big investments into their future, into events like this. So it could be worth making it free just to get more people in, but that decision's more up to you. So those are the 5 different ways that you can get more attendees into your event. So if you like this video, hit that like button, but also subscribe if you haven't already. We do have that video up for you again if you want to do an out-of-state event or anything like that. No money out of pocket for you if you're interested. And if you do want to figure out how do I get on more stages, how do I organize an event, and you want me to help you with that, you can schedule a free strategy call with me over at marcguberti.com/strategy, which is below in the description. So signing off, what I want you guys to do is to dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.